Have you ever felt that you are constantly letting people you love down? Perhaps you're frustrated at yourself, even though your heart is in the right place. Have you ever missed a friend's birthday only to criticize yourself, feel guilty, forgotten to write a text, or even forgotten to buy a gift? Today, we're going to unpack one of the most painful yet common experiences in ADHD, and it's the guilt of feeling as though you're not enough in your friendships or feeling as though your friendships are falling apart. Let's get into it. Welcome to the What's Eating You podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Giorgio, and I'm a clinical psychologist. If you're new here to the What's Eating You podcast, I welcome you with open arms. My name is Steph, and I took a deep dive on ADHD in the last few years. And this question actually came through ADHD Journey, which is my private membership and platform that gives you easy videos that help you with your ADHD. The code is ADHD VIP if you want to join and get 50% off your first month. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee a week. And this person expressed how they recently forgot a friend's birthday. They felt super guilty and bad by it. She said, even though we always hang out and I got a gift, the point is it's really hard to be liked by the people in your life when your executive functioning decides it's in control, or your executive dysfunction decides it's in control. I don't like who I am when my ADHD makes life feel harder than it needs to be. I feel like I'm constantly apologizing for who I am. Sometimes I feel I'm not enough. Does anyone feel like they are always trying to catch up and try to fix friendships? I thought I had to improve my forgetfulness, but then my friend threw it in my face. Ouch. Right, so let's talk about why this happens. Executive dysfunction explained. So our executive functioning happens in our frontal lobe here, and it's basically a set of cognitive skills that help us plan, remember, organize, and regulate tasks. In ADHD, these functions are often impaired, usually because we have lower levels of access to your dopamine and your norepinephrine. It's not laziness. It's not because you're careless. It's because of your brain wiring. So the way the brain was typically supposed to wire, it didn't happen. And that's why we call it being neurodiverse and neurotypical. So this affects time blindness, which means knowing how much time you've got, which is why you might run late, and you also underestimate how long tasks will take. So if you think, oh, I don't have to be at the party for another hour, I'll do this task, but you don't know that that task is going to take an hour and you should leave now to get to the party on time. Number 2 is working memory issues. So people with ADHD struggle with that sticky note memory. So that note that someone tells them in the morning, don't forget to get a card for John's birthday. You're like, yep, the sticky note's there. That working memory that you have to recall later that day, no good in people with ADHD. And the third is task initiation and follow through. You might mean to do something meaningful and you want to wish your friend a happy birthday, but you never get around to it because you have difficulty following through on tasks and getting started on tasks. Fact, studies show people with ADHD have reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain responsible for planning, attention, and impulse control. So why does it hurt so much? Well, when people with ADHD have difficulties with friendships, that often triggers a term called rejection sensitive dysphoria. Now, this is not a diagnosis, but it's a common experience for people with ADHD. It's the intense emotional pain triggered by real or perceived rejection or criticism. So if you're feeling rejected or criticized because you forgot a friend's birthday, then it's likely you're going to experience RSD. When someone says, you forgot my birthday, again, your brain doesn't just hear disappointment, it hears you're a bad person. Even if that's not what the person said, your brain goes to the worst case scenario. This can lead to over-apologizing, people-pleasing, or even avoiding relationships for fear of failure. I've met so many people with ADHD who don't even try to have friendships because they can't deal with the maintenance that it requires. Another fact is that 99% of people with ADHD report experiencing emotional dysregulation, which is difficulty managing your emotions. So imagine having emotional difficulties, plus you've got RSD. These are probably the two most challenging parts for many people who have ADHD. Number 3, I feel like I'm always apologizing for who I am. This is common in ADHD, and this sentence holds a lot of pain. So I want to go through it. It's not just the missed birthdays, it comes with an identity crisis. Is this really me? Am I a bad friend? Will I ever get it right? Do people secretly hate me? The truth is, your worth isn't determined by your ability to function and remember birthdays. So, how do you actually navigate friendships with ADHD? Let's go through some strategies that are going to help you with this. Because with awareness and the right strategies, you can soften the impact that ADHD has on our relationships. And guess what? You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to remember every single birthday. So, number 1 is set friendship reminders that work for your brain. I use calendar reminders to remember my friends' birthdays, and I'll ask them, when's your birthday? Let me put that right in my calendar straight away so you can get reminders. Voice memos are great. If you don't remember to text, send a quick voice memo to your friend on their birthday. Check Facebook. Facebook will tell you when it's someone's birthday. Number 2 is be proactive and transparent. You can let close friends know, hey, I care deeply about you, but my ADHD means I sometimes struggle with dates and timing. Please know it's never personal. If I need an extra reminder, if I forget something, I forgot the date, but I didn't forget you. It's not personal. Which is number 3, repair with intentions, not perfection. If you forgot something, just own it. A thoughtful message or even a late gift still holds meaning. It still shows that you tried. For example, I forgot the date, but I didn't forget you, and here's your little present. The last thing is boundaries and letting go. Sometimes friendships may not survive the strain, and that's hard, but it doesn't make you unworthy. Find people who understand and value beyond your executive functioning. So growing up, I had really understanding friends because I always ran businesses, I was studying, I had a lot going on, and I always called myself a part-time friend. I'm like, look, I won't be there to have 45-minute conversations every single day. I just can't do that. But if you need me, I'm here. And I may not be a full-time friend, but I'm a good friend. So let people know, and just remember, you don't have to be there all the time. What matters is you're there when your friends need them. So if you feel like you're constantly saying sorry for who you are, it might be time to stop apologizing and start accepting. ADHD isn't a character flaw, it's a difference. And while it brings challenges, it also brings creativity, depth, and deep empathy. So you've got so many strengths towards your personality that you probably don't even realize. So to the person who sent me this message, you're not alone. Many people are always catching up and still feeling behind. And if you're listening to this thinking, oh my gosh, do I have ADHD? You can take our free quiz. The link is in my profile on the website. And if you're in Australia, we do offer ADHD assessments in 2 sessions. If this resonated, please share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, and maybe send it to a friend that you deeply care about, but perhaps you forgot to let them know this week. A massive thank you for being here today. Don't forget to leave a rating or a review. It means a lot and it helps us get the podcast out to more and more people. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Did you know by taking 2 seconds to leave a rating or a review, you help me get the podcast out to more listeners just like you who could really benefit from the information? I appreciate all your support and thank you for tuning in.